Hello everyone. This comes from the idea from Richard Mccook, and when I watched his video I thought to myself that there's no point in me doing this because I can't really remember many of these, but once I started thinking about them, it turns out that I do remember quite well many of these. So let's get started. My first record purchase was in the summer of 1980. Self-titled album by Matchbox, which was their third album. Now, my first four albums were all by Matchbox, and I do have them all, but they are all in my brother's record shelf where they have always been. But I do have this one. This is Setting the Moods on Fire, their second album, so one prior to the one that I am talking about. I was visiting my relatives that summer, and my cousin had that album on cassette, so I became really fascinated by it. And when I got back home, I asked my mom if she would buy it to me as a late birthday gift, which she did. But yeah, this one, I don't think my brother owned this at that time. At some point later he did buy this one, so I never got this until about 20 years later. He gave this to me as a cassette, but once the labels from the cassette fell off, I bought this on vinyl. I don't remember exactly, a few years ago. But yeah, self-titled album by Matchbox, my first record purchase. Okay, so let's move on to 12-inch singles. My first 12-inch single was this Dio live 3-track single, Like the Beat of a Heart, We Rock, and Holy Diver. And yeah, I bought this probably, I would guess, like late summer of '85. Yeah, brilliant single, which I listened to a whole lot back in the day. And then my first 12-inch picture disc was this one, Mötley Crüe Helter Skelter 4-track 12-inch. Yeah, this one includes Helter Skelter Red Hot, original Leather Records mixes of Livewire and Piece of Your Action. And at the time I had no idea what these leather mixes meant. It took me probably 20 years before I found out what those were. Okay, let's get back to that one later. Okay, 7 inches. My first 7-inch, I don't have any recollection, but it's very easy to guess that it was this one. Heavens of Fire, back with Lonely is the Hunter. In 1984, I was a huge Kiss fan, so I can't imagine anything else being my first purchase than this one. Hearing that there was going to be a new Kiss album, yeah, this is very clear idea being my first single. My first single without a picture sleeve also is quite easy to guess. I only bought 3 singles without sleeve during those years. This is one. This is Mötley Crüe Home Sweet Home, back with Red Hot. Would this have been like, well, sometime during the '85 anyway. But I don't really think that this was the first one. I think this one was the first one. This is Kiss Rock and Roll All Night, back with Getaway. And yeah, I do remember finding this as a second hand, and because of this sleeve, which is still the same one, this is like a Philips Fontana phonogram single. Because of this sleeve, I thought that this was a bootleg single. It took me many years that I thought that I'm just gonna let this stand on my record shelf, and someday I will just throw it away. But luckily, to this day, I still have this one. It took me years to realize that somebody sometimes changes these sleeves, and I was expecting this one being American pressing, that they would have had a picture sleeve, but no, at the time they didn't release these with picture sleeves. So my first picture disc 7-inch was this one, A World Without Heroes, back with Mr. Blackwell. Again, sometime during 1985. Okay, let's take a look at my first picture disc album. Surprisingly, not a Kiss one, although my second one was Kiss album, but my first one was this Iron Maiden Power Slave. I didn't buy this, I got this as a part of some trade, but I really have no recollection whatsoever what was the trade. But yeah, sometime during 1985. I would say that as a good guess, I got this more or less around the same time as the Live After Death album was released. But how were they connected with each other? I don't remember. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's take cassettes next. Our very first music player was reel-to-reel tape machine, but at that time we only had like random songs on it. And then we got a cassette player, and my parents started buying cassettes. So you would think that the cassette was like an important format to me, but for some reason, once I started buying records myself, cassette was never important to me. So one that I could say that is a candidate would be this one, Never Mind the Bollocks by the Sex Pistols. But I really don't think that this was my first one. It's most likely it was one of the Kiss cassettes. At the time, around this mid-80s, I bought about 1 dozen of their albums on cassette. But at some point I sold them, and like I said, I have no recollection whatsoever which one was the first one. But when I sold all the rest, I held on to 2 of the cassettes. Ace Frehley and Paul Stanley solo albums. And so it could be one of these, but yeah, I have no recollection what it actually was. Yeah, cassette never became a big thing to me. I should count, but I guess today I have like less than 20 of these store purchase cassettes. The only band that I ever collected on cassette was Public Image Limited, and these are the 4 ones. First album, Happy, and 9, and I bought these, although I don't remember in which order I bought these, but I bought these in 89 and 91 from London. Yeah, and those were the only Public Image Limited albums that I wanted. It took me about 20 years until I bought one additional album, which I bought on CD. Okay, so let's move on to CD. My first CD single, my first CD was this one, Eppu Popeda Normaali, 20 vuotta sikana, hyvä kankkunen. And when I bought this one, I didn't have a CD player, and I wasn't even planning on buying a CD player at this point. I found this, I remember I was visiting Tampere, and there was Mega Epes, and they had this box where they were selling like really cheaply singles, mostly vinyl singles at that time, but this one was there, and I think I paid like 50 pennies for this one. And like almost 20 years later, I found out that this was the first Finnish CD single. So my second CD and my first CD album was this one, Queen, A Day at the Races. Okay, is there anything less? Okay, cassette single. Very easy to remember because I've only ever bought 2 CD singles. First one was this, Metallica, Creeping Death. The only other one that I have is Let's Get Rocked by Def Leppard, which I found a few years ago. This one I probably bought like late 80s. Okay, box sets. My first vinyl box set was this one, Eric Clapton Crossroads. I bought this probably late 88 or early, well, sometime 89. And this is still, to this day, the only time that I've started my, gotten my introduction to somebody's music through a box set. I've always started either with something like Best of or Greatest Hits or through one of their albums, but with Eric Clapton I started straight off with a box set. And this is absolutely brilliant box set. Yeah, I started with the box set simply because I already knew that he had like long history, like Yardbirds and Cream and Blind Faith and so on. So I wanted to get a good proper introduction, and this most certainly did just that. And my first CD box set was my 25th birthday present, although I don't remember was it, did I buy this to myself or did my, possibly my brother bought this one for me. This is Elvis Presley, King of Rock and Roll, complete 50s masters, 5 CD box set. Yeah, being a lifelong Elvis fan, obviously I had to get this one. And okay, one more. First DVD. First music VHS. Again, I don't remember, but I would say that 99.9% certainty it was Worldwide Live by Scorpions. But my first music DVD was this one, The Filth and the Fury, Sex Pistols. Good documentary on a career of Sex Pistols. Okay, yeah, that's about it, but I will add one more to this. The first time when I bought an album and didn't get what I bought. As you can see, this is the first album by Ted Nugent. I was traveling here in Finland and I found this record store and I bought this one. This one was shrink wrapped. As you can see, it's still shiny, brand new. So after the travels I came back home and started putting this record on, only to discover that the record inside was not Ted Nugent. It was, is it right way around? Dan Hicks and his Hot Licks. Not a bad album as such, but not really my kind of thing. And I'm surprised that I still had this one. Yeah, just a couple of hours ago, less than a couple of hours ago, I just took a whole big bunch of, well, not a big bunch of, it was about 130 records to the record store. And while going through my collection, I found this one. still had this one. And this happened, I don't know, it was early 2010, thereabouts. So I still have this one. Okay, but yeah, that's it for this time. Hope you like this. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. Bye.